This week on the Derricks Live, we're adding one more to the Derrick homestead. Let's go, y'all. It's going to be good. Shawn here with the Derricks Live. I'm here with my beautiful wife and lovely co-host, Emily. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm excited.
You're excited? Why are you excited? I don't know why you're excited.
A little nervous.
A little nervous? What are you nervous for? Huh? What are you nervous for? It's not I'd be nervous. Ain't nothing nervous for. But, you want to see something cool? Watch. Oh, look, check this out. I got a camera over here. I got one over there.
He got new cameras this week, and he's been playing with lighting and cameras and angles, and I've had to move this way and that way and up and down.
Up and down. Up and down. It's been a lot of fun. So stepping up our camera game this week and trying to bring you guys on YouTube or on the Facebook.
Because we're old.
We're getting lots of engagement on video, so we're going to spend a little bit of money on video this year and try to get our video game on point. As Emily puts her cup right back in the shot, we'll have to move that. That was just your cup. So
giant cup.
It's been good though, and we hope you guys enjoyed the video. So if you're listening to this with audio and you've never seen what either of our ridiculous faces look like, then
here we are.
Here we are. Hop on the feed and. I sound so fucking old. Watch the video.
Because you are old.
I am old.
Say it out loud. Say it out loud. How old will you be?
17.
Yeah.
17 this year.
Plus a little bit.
I feel 17. I don't feel 17. I feel about 52. I've had a foot injury this week that I've been babying. It's been brutal. I don't know what the heck I did to my foot, but it's been a lot of fun. So. Well, here we are with episode 21, and we got some exciting news. We decided we're gonna have a baby
in a non-traditional sense.
Well, I mean, you know, but let's unpack that because it might be shocking to some people.
Yeah,
it was shocking to us.
It was shocking to us, and we are telling you guys first. There are a few select people that know, but like most of our family doesn't know. So, surprise!
It's been really good. Like we've told just a few people about this. Just like our kids, not even all of our kids. Anthony's surprised. I don't think we've had a chance to talk to Anthony.
We
yet.
haven't. He's been busy.
And then one or two people outside of the immediate family know that we've just because out of necessity, more than anything. But we were away on vacation a couple weeks ago and broached the subject and broached the subject. And here we are. We're going to take the plunge for one more, guys. It's going to be awesome. We're excited.
So there's a lot to unpack here. We were separately over the last few months without having any conversations with each other.
Which is pretty rare,
at
least on this topic.
Well, because we had a multitude of conversations about being very done. So much so that you went out of vasectomy.
Yeah, we were done doing. I was like, no, F that. We ain't having no more kids. I'm going to go get snipped.
So, I think in our mind, not so much in our heart, but in our mind, like logically, or like, I think that we've done enough damage. So, separately, I think secretly we both have been feeling this urge and this pull for another baby. And my heart, and I think your heart too, has very much been for a son, for a baby boy. And because we've had so many conversations about being done, neither one of us really brought it back up. And to be fair, we've been very busy. A lot has happened. And I think that we've kept the busyness forefront so that we didn't have to have this conversation.
It was an uncomfortable conversation. I mean, I was afraid to broach the subject. I think you were afraid to broach the subject because we had some very long conversations about childbearing and whether we were going to try for one more. And ultimately we decided that we weren't, and we made a semi-permanent decision for that to happen. You know, I went out and got a vasectomy after you got pregnant with Addison, before you even had her, I think.
No, it was right
after. But we had made the decision while you were pregnant, that I was going to go get snipped, and I did. And it's like, it was the best $640 I ever spent. It's quite a bit more than that to get it undone, though. Mm-hmm. So I think we're talking about like $6,000, and ultimately, I think our heart has been that, like, I don't know, we just decided that we needed another one. I don't know. It was
and I think that it's so silly that story of the daggone starfish keeps coming up, but we just keep feeling this pull, like there's one more, and we can't help everybody, and we can't stop everything from being terrible and bad, but we can help one more. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we've gone through the foster system, and we have adopted our big kids, and they were teenagers when they came to us. And then our little girl, who is 7 now, we had got her when she was just over a year. And then, of course, we had 2 of our own. So we've kind of had all the different stages. But we have this pull again for a baby. And so I'll tell the story of kind of how this came about. Because it wasn't a conversation like, hey, I have this feeling. It was very much, we went away for my birthday. It was just the 2 of us, and we went on a cruise.
So nice.
It was very relaxing, very peaceful. Very intimate, and it was an older crowd on the cruise. So it was very,
that's an understatement.
But I say that in seriousness because it was peaceful. Like there wasn't a lot of busyness. There wasn't a lot of shows to go to. So it allowed us to just be together. We talked a lot. We read a lot. We sat and just enjoyed quiet, which we don't ever do. Mm-hmm. But on night 2 of our cruise, we had invited a sweet old lady who was by herself to come and join us for dinner.
Yeah, we just so happened to be checking in at the dinner station. You go to your dinner time, and you got to check in with the host, and she was checking in ahead of us with party of 1. Yeah.
And she was so sweet, and and no obligation. We just asked, would you like company? And we invited her to eat dinner with us, and just have a conversation and have somebody to talk to. And she agreed, and it was a lovely conversation. And I made like an offhand joke about, adopting her. And I said, no, we don't do that anymore. We've done our share. We've adopted so many. And it was like a left-hand joke, like out of nowhere. And we were in the dining room, and you're like, well,
like a hand grenade. Boom.
I've been meaning to have a conversation with you. I really think we're supposed to adopt one more. And it was like a hush fell over the crowd. And I know that it was deliberate. Like, you had this conversation, you introduced it in the dining room when there was multiple witnesses.
It wasn't super intentional, but I'm not going to say that, like, I had kind of been waiting for my in. And there were witnesses. So it was like, if it goes south, she can't kill me in front of all these people. So it was timely.
Yeah. And it took me by surprise. I will not lie. Like, I was in shock. For multiple reasons. One, I felt like you read my mind and I wasn't sure what to do with that. 2, I thought there was no way in any way, shape, or form that you were ever going to consider having another kid, because I thought I was crazy for even having the thought.
You were. It was your idea.
Yeah. And then I kind of felt guilty that I had been kind of keeping this bottled up for so long. Mm-hmm. And so it took me probably a good day to process all of those emotions. And he kept saying, "Are you okay? You ready to talk yet? You okay? Do we need to talk? It's okay. We can have this conversation." And he probably said it 100 times, like, "Are you okay?"
Well, look, I thought these were going to be like some fighting words because like we had really decided that we were done.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons, but both of our mental capacity was a big part of that. Yeah. Like it's like, if you don't have 3 kids at home that are, basically they're kids still, they're not older. Yeah. They're, 7 to 2. It's a lot of work. And if you just had one of our 2-year-olds, it's a lot of work. She's special. So, from a health standpoint, I think, and from an emotional standpoint, we were tapped out for a little bit. But I just feel like we've been in a season of like just renewal and refreshment. And I feel like I don't know, I just have that pull. It's hard to explain when you feel like it's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
There's no logic behind it.
There is no logic. And so for him, he was probably nervous and quiet. And for me, I wrapped myself in research. I am a nerd at heart and a bookworm, and I find solace in all the crazy research. And so that night I sat in the hammock on our balcony in the cruise ship, and I got on my iPad and I looked at all the different options, from a surrogate to adopting internationally to adopting locally to fostering with the state with foster care. And it just so happened that Alachua County, the county that we live in, was actually hosting like a informal introduction to foster care and how to sign up and all that, blah, blah, blah. Like very next night, which was odd. Mm-hmm. So we signed up and we actually watched the Zoom call from the balcony of our cruise ship. Without not like I don't even think we were really determined on this. We had just like, okay, well, let's explore it. Let's see what's out there. And immediately from that experience, I felt discouraged because it was going to be months before they could get us into a class, which was a little disheartening. So we talked on and off throughout the whole vacation. And when we got back, we had a kind of a long discussion. I said, listen, I'm not saying no and I'm not saying yes. And I think that we need to be 100% on the same page and 100% with the same heart towards this. And so I challenged both of us to spend 7 days fasting from sunup to sundown with liquids only and praying together out loud for clarity on that decision. And we did that. And we're still doing that.
Well, I feel like we've come to this place that I think we're both at peace with the decision. That's why we're telling you about it.
Yes. By day 3, I think that our prayer had shifted from, if this is what you have for us, to please bless this child. Yeah. Keep him safe, guide him, guard him. And it was like almost unconscious, the shift that happened. But there was a shift because it went from praying for our mind and our decision to praying for him. Mm-hmm. And we both, I think that like by night 3 and night 4, we were both okay. So like, we're doing this. What do we pray next kind of thing?
Yeah. And we discussed breaking our fast early and we decided not to. Yeah. We've pulled that through and it's been really cool. But I think we're kind of in this stage right now where we're just preparing. Yeah. We don't know we know we're going to adopt, but we don't know how. There's lots of avenues to adoption. And I think what we're doing right now is just opening those doors.
Yes.
So we've done a few things. We fostered and adopted before, but our license is not any good anymore.
Yeah.
So we've started the renewal process for that. So we've signed up for some really phenomenal online classes that we found through a local organization.
And that was kind of an answered prayer in and of itself, because I had kind of given up on the Alachua County thing because it was going to be months. Well, within a few days, someone had posted on one of the private fostering groups that they were offering an online option that was Zoom only, that you didn't have to drive anywhere, and it was 1 hour a week plus like online classes.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is perfect. We'll sign up for this and we'll just see what it is. And it turns out we actually know the people that are hosting it.
We used to do some ministry with the couple that's leading the class, so it's a small world. Yeah. But we're really excited about the future and the possibility. So we also our passports have expired, so we've started the process of getting passports again, so that if an international adoption is what God has for us, that we're prepared for that.
Right.
Usually you have to go if in that case, and so we don't know what God's doing. We don't know what our plan is, what His plan is. We're just kind of opening doors and waiting for the breeze to blow. So we've made this decision, and we're excited and firm in it. But there's some logistical challenges that come with a decision like this when you've already got 4 kids in the house, because we have our 21-year-old son is here with us, and we have our other 3 younger kids. So we're trying to move some things around to make that happen and make it logistically possible too.
So it's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And like you said, we don't really know what the plan is. We just know that we're moving the needle. So we're doing all of the things that will open the doors. And part of that is having this conversation, even on the podcast, so that we're putting it out there that if you know somebody, or if there's a connection somewhere that needs to be made, that we're opening that door by having this conversation. I think this is something very different than we decided when we initially fostered years and years and years ago. We kind of kept it to ourselves.
Yeah.
We told our parents, but outside of that, we didn't really tell anybody.
Yeah.
It was just something that we did. And God was still in all of that. Like there was no doubting that we were right where we were supposed to be in the very moment that we needed to be there. And I know that this is no different.
Well, and I think just to unpack that a little bit, Emily, I think there's something, there's a lot to be said about doing something in silence, where you're just doing it to do it, right? That has its place. But our motivation behind telling the world for this is because we don't know how God's going to bring us this child. Yeah. We just know that this is what we're called to do. Maybe you're going to make that connection for us. We don't know. And so, we're just putting it out there in the universe so that that we know, and they know, and everybody else around us knows that we're seeking adopting a baby boy. And so, maybe that's through a broken family member that you have in your household. We don't know. But we're here, and we're waiting to step to the plate for whenever the time comes. And in the meantime, we're going to open our home probably to fostering a little bit and allowing God to work through that avenue until He has something for us. And whenever that time comes, we'll be here to accept that challenge. So
this will air on Wednesday. We've actually already taken our very first class with the fostering and already started the homework.
Yeah.
We're doing the things. And it's exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking, and all of the pieces are just starting to shift.
Yeah.
So we're excited about what's coming ahead, and just waiting in anticipation. So
And I think one of the cool things too is we get to document the process for you guys. I think one of the big challenges, or misconceptions, I should say, probably not challenges isn't the right word, but one of the big misconceptions about fostering or adopting through foster is that like you can't afford it or that you're not qualified to do it. And we want to help kind of break those barriers too. There really isn't a financial burden or like barrier to get over as long as you have some income and you're working and you can support a child. There really isn't a reason not to, if that's your heart. So, I think that one of the things we hope is that we can encourage you to action, because listen, there's a lot of kids in foster care that need some help. And however we adopt, I mean, we're going to be open to God's call and whatever that looks like. But there's some kids that need your help too. And whether that's actually opening your home to fostering or being in another foster parent support network or working directly as a volunteer through a organization like the Guardian Ad Litem program, there's lots of ways that you can impact a kid's life. And that's what we're called to do. James 1:27 calls us to take care of, James 1:27 says, religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. So if you're not taking care of orphans and widows, you're not taking care of, God's call for us. And so I think we miss this as a church. There's a really, really crazy stat that floats around the foster community, and that really is making fun of the church because y'all don't do what you say you're going to do. Because if you did, there wouldn't be a need for a foster care system. If one family from half the churches in the United States, just half, not even every church, and not even every family, just one family from half of the churches in the United States stepped up tomorrow to be foster parents and adopt a child, they could eliminate every child in the foster care system. That's a sombering statistic, and there's no reason that family can't be you. So shut the fuck up, put your money where your mouth is, and go do the thing.
And outside of that family that makes that decision, the church and the community really has the ability to support them in such a great way that you can be a support system for a foster family without ever fostering. Bringing meals and running errands and helping logistics, running to doctor's appointments and making sure that everybody gets to where they're supposed to go. That's a huge burden that you can help with as well. So there's so many different ways to help a family that's making this hard decision. And you can be a part of that change for somebody, for a whole generation of children. And there is an entire generation of children that's homeless. They don't have a home. And we, the body of Christ, should be that home. That's where it should be. Where better for a child that is hurting and in need than with us. So it's sombering, but it's a realistic goal that can be attained if we step up. It's not unattainable. You're talking half of the churches.
One family in half of the churches. It's not even half of the churches. One family in half of the churches. So it's really quite a sad reality that it's the world we live in, is that as Christians, we do a lot more talking than we do doing, and the world knows it. So it's time to start talking, or to stop talking and to start doing. So I think we're going to leave this one short tonight, guys. We want everyone to listen to this and share it. It's a short episode. Help us find our child. He's out there somewhere, and maybe you're the person that links that up for us. And if you're not and you want to get involved, please, please, please feel free to reach out to Emily or I. We will put you in contact with the right person to get you involved in foster or adoption in whatever capacity you're willing to serve.
So, and even so much as joining the class that we're already a part of, they're still taking applicants up until this.
Oh yeah, they did. They
Friday.
said that you could join all the way up until Friday. You could join, and all virtual, no in-person attendance.
And there's no fee. There's no cost. It's all
free.
Yeah. So if it's something that you're interested in, or even just curious about, please reach out, and I will get you that contact information. The information is really valuable for anybody. But if this is something that's on your heart, allow us to make that connection for you.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe on this thing. Pay the price. Share this shit. And let your friends know how awesome of a parent you are. And join this journey with us and bring them along for the ride with you.
Fuck your excuses, guys.
Jesus fucking loves you. Let's go. Y'all have a good night.